Archangel Michael says, I will leave you, if you don't watch this now. You will receive huge wealth in your bank account if you open this message on, but if you skip, you won't receive money open now. It is about love so vast and healing so deep that it calls to the very center of our soul. In a world where voices cry out for hope, some messages may come wrapped in urgent tones, but the heart of God always whispers gently, I am with you. His desire is never to abandon, harm, or cause suffering, but to reach each one of us right where we are, in our pain, our doubt, and even in our silence. He sees beyond our choices and mistakes and instead sees a beloved child who may have forgotten the sound of his voice, the warmth of his light, or the shelter of his presence. Type 2323 if you agree. Every single breath you take is a quiet testimony of God's mercy. Even in the days when everything feels uncertain, when your heart feels fragile, or when fear creeps in through the cracks, He has not moved away. He is not sitting far, waiting to punish you. He is beside you, gently calling, patiently hoping that you'll turn your heart toward Him again. The world often pulls our attention with promises of money, healing, or disaster, but God's promise is something far more eternal and unshakable, His presence. His love doesn't expire when you forget to pray. His grace does not vanish when you are too tired to believe. He remains steady even when you are not. Some moments in life feel like a storm, and everything inside you wants to run, hide, or just give up completely. Maybe the bills are overdue, the doctor's words still echo in your mind, or someone you loved simply walked away without looking back. These are the moments the enemy tries to tell you that you are alone, unloved, and forgotten. But heaven sees. God knows. And Jesus is still reaching out, even when your hands hang low and your faith feels like a flickering flame. He will not leave you to drown in sorrow or walk into a hospital room with no comfort. He is the healer of broken bodies, mender of shattered hearts, and the provider for every single need you are too afraid to speak aloud. Type 222 if you believe. When Jesus walked this earth, He didn't sit among the perfect or the proud. He knelt in the dust beside the hurting, the doubting, and the desperate. He didn't demand perfection. He extended compassion. His words were not sharp to wound, but gentle to restore. That same Jesus is here with you now, not with condemnation, but with arms wide open. He sees every anxious thought, every tear you've hidden from others, and every moment you've stayed awake wondering if anything will ever change. And He wants to remind you, He has not forgotten your name, your pain, or your prayers. Sometimes, God's answer is not loud. It comes like a soft sunrise, slowly filling the darkness with light. It is not always about miracles falling like fire from the sky. Often, His miracles arrive in quiet ways, a door opening when you least expect it, a heart beginning to heal, strength returning in your weakest hour. These are not coincidences. They are the fingerprints of a loving Father who never stops working behind the scenes. Even when you cannot feel Him, He is there. Even when it seems like your situation is beyond repair, His hands are still able to restore what feels lost forever. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brainwave today. You might be reading this right now with a heart heavy from burdens you haven't shared with anyone. Maybe no one around you truly understands how close you feel to breaking, how tired you are of pretending, or how loudly your soul cries out for peace. But you are not invisible to God. He knows the weight you carry, and He is not disappointed in your weariness. Instead, He draws near, not to scold but to soothe, not to frighten but to lift you up and carry you forward, even if all you can do right now is whisper His name. Let your soul breathe again. You do not need to earn God's love or convince Him to stay. He has already chosen you. His love is not a reaction to your good days or a punishment on your bad ones. It is steady like the ocean, wide and powerful, and always moving toward you. You don't need to fear abandonment. He is not leaving, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. His hands are still open, His heart still beats with compassion, and His voice still calls you home. In this moment, whatever burdens sit on your chest, whatever fears cloud your mind, give them to Him. Speak them in your heart, or simply exhale and let them go. God is not waiting for the perfect words or the right prayer. He just wants you. The tired, unsure, struggling, and hurting version of you. That's the one He loves. That's the one He's been watching over all this time. More than money, more than success, more than the approval of others, what your soul truly longs for is the peace that only God can give. And that peace is not far away. It is already here, waiting for you to embrace it. Do not chase after empty promises that fade by morning. Lean into the everlasting promise that God will never leave you. Not in the hospital. Not in your lack. Not in your silence. Not ever. His love is the only promise that holds true through every season. You are still standing, still breathing, still reading this, not by accident, not by chance. You are here because God is drawing you near, not with fear, but with hope. The kind of hope that heals you from the inside out. The kind that reminds you there is still light after darkness, still joy after sorrow, still healing after brokenness. Stay close to Him, and let Him do what only He can. Type 1111 if you trust in God. He doesn't grow tired of your questions, your fears, or even your silence. Instead, He surrounds you with a love that asks for nothing but your willingness to trust Him again, even with trembling hands and tearful eyes. Type 222 to claim healing and restoration in your heart. You were never expected to carry everything on your own. The weight that you've tried to hold up with quiet strength is not invisible to God. He sees the sleepless nights, the moments you pretend to be fine, and the way your spirit has been trying so hard to stay afloat. But He never asked you to be perfect. He asked you to be honest, to be present with Him, and to allow Him into the places you keep locked away because you fear no one would understand. But He does. More deeply than you could ever imagine, He understands. There is something beautiful and sacred about being honest with God, not the polished prayers, but the raw, vulnerable ones. The kind that break open your soul and leave tears streaming down your cheeks. That is where healing begins. Not when everything is fixed, but when everything is surrendered. When you stop pretending you're okay and let Him hold you, not because you're strong, but because you're His. You don't need to impress God. You just need to let Him in. Sometimes, we're tempted to believe that we've gone too far, drifted too long, or made too many mistakes. That somehow, we've exhausted His grace or worn out His patience. But God doesn't operate the way people do. His love is not measured by our performance. It is not conditional, fragile, or temporary. His love is rooted in who He is, not in who we are on our worst day. He chose you from the very beginning, knowing everything about you, including the things you struggle to accept about yourself. It can be easy to look at others and think they have it all together. But every heart carries a story, a wound, a moment of breaking. The difference is not in who is broken and who is whole. The difference is in who allows God to enter into the broken places and bring light into the darkness. You do not need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to say, God, I need you. I cannot do this alone. Maybe the weight you're carrying today is not just about your own pain. Maybe you're praying for someone you love. Maybe you're watching them struggle and it's tearing your heart apart. God sees that too. He knows the ache of watching someone walk through fire while you feel helpless on the sidelines. But His reach is not limited by your hands. His comfort is not confined by distance. He can be in places you cannot enter, speak words you cannot say, and work miracles that go beyond your understanding. It's okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to believe that you are abandoned. You are not forgotten, forsaken, or overlooked. You are deeply seen. Even in the mess, even in the chaos, even in the moments when you feel like giving up, heaven is still holding your name. Your cries are not echoes in emptiness, they rise before the throne of a God who answers. A God who responds, not always in the way we expect, but always in the way we need. Every setback is not a sign of failure. Sometimes, it's a redirection. Sometimes, it's a preparation. And sometimes, it's the very thing that will lead to the healing and breakthrough you've been praying for. God does not waste pain. He does not waste time. And He never allows anything to touch your life without a divine purpose woven deep inside. You may not see it now, but there is a plan unfolding, even in the dark. Type 555 if you believe that God is making a way even now. God's timing often feels different from ours. We want healing now. Answers now. Provision now. But God sees what we cannot see. He knows what tomorrow holds and why today must unfold the way it does. This is not punishment. This is preparation. The waiting is not a denial. It is a place where your faith is being strengthened, your trust is being rooted, and your soul is being gently molded into something stronger than you knew was possible. Sometimes, the very things we run from are the places God uses most. The heartbreak, the delay, the unanswered prayer, all of it becomes soil for growth, for understanding, for deeper intimacy with Him. And while it doesn't take the pain away, it gives meaning to the suffering. It turns ashes into beauty, mourning into joy, and trials into testimony. You are not being overlooked. You are being refined. Jesus never promised an easy road, but he promised his presence on the journey. He promised peace that passes understanding, strength for every step, and love that never runs out. He is not behind you scolding your mistakes. He is beside you, holding your hand, saying, "Let's keep going. I've got you." He is the voice that steadies you when fear is loud. He is the calm in the middle of your storm. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself be carried. Let yourself be found, not because you were lost, but because God delights in finding you again and again. No matter how far you've wandered, his eyes have never left you. No matter how dark it's been, his light has never stopped shining. No matter how broken you feel, his love is still more than enough to make you whole. Not with anger. Not with demands. But with a love so gentle, it wraps around your wounds like a warm blanket on a cold night. The Lord never turns away from a weary soul. In fact, he leans in with compassion, with mercy, and with eyes full of understanding. Type 1212 if you walk by faith, even when it's hard. You are not forgotten, and your pain is not ignored. Every tear you've cried, every prayer you whispered in the dark, every moment you thought you were alone, he was there. Always near, always listening, always loving. There is no corner too hidden, no heart too broken, no soul too lost for God to reach. And even when your faith is just a flicker, he sees it. He honors it. He breathes life into it until that flicker becomes a flame once more. After decades in government lockdown, a short 9-word phrase has resurfaced, and those who whisper it daily are experiencing miracles of money and freedom. Researchers say it switches on a hidden abundance circuit in the brain, the same one billionaires unknowingly rely on. It's easy, fast, and astonishingly powerful. Click the link before this rare discovery is censored again. Some days, you may question why things have unfolded the way they have. Why certain doors closed, why loved ones left, why dreams seemed to vanish just when they were beginning to bloom. But God sees the bigger picture. He is not punishing you. He is protecting you. He is preparing you. What feels like rejection is often redirection towards something better, something lasting, something that carries eternal value beyond what this world can give. You were never meant to walk a path of perfection, only a path of faith, one step at a time, hand in hand with the Savior who never lets go. There is healing in his presence. Not just healing for the body, but healing for your spirit, for the places inside you that no one else knows how to reach. He heals the fear that keeps you up at night, the shame that whispers lies to your heart, and the weight of regret you've carried too long. Jesus came not to point a finger but to open his arms. He came not to remind you of your failures, but to show you the way forward, the way home. Let his love remind you of who you truly are, not what the world says, not what your past declares, but what God sees. You are his child, chosen and beloved. You are not defined by the pain you've endured, nor by the mistakes you've made. You are defined by the one who made you, and he calls you worthy. His grace covers you like a river washing over dry land, bringing life where there was once only dust. If you've been waiting for a breakthrough, holding on for a sign, or wondering if God still remembers your name, this is your reminder: He does. He sees every moment you've stayed faithful, every time you chose kindness when it was hard, every time you kept praying even when the answers didn't come. And He will not leave you where you are. He is the God of movement, of miracles, of mercy. He is still working, even now. Type 1919 to receive miracles into your life this very moment. When Jesus healed the sick, comforted the broken, and forgave the sinner, He didn't do it with judgment. He did it with love. And that same love is alive today. It's reaching out to you now, not asking you to have it all figured out, but simply to say, "Here I am, Lord." That's all He needs. Just your willingness to let Him in, to let Him carry what you cannot, to let Him guide you when you no longer know the way. There is nothing you need more than the peace of God. It's the kind of peace that steadies your heartbeat in chaos, that softens your words in conflict, that lets you sleep at night knowing you are safe in His care. This peace doesn't depend on your circumstances. It doesn't disappear when life gets messy. It stays, because it comes from Him. And He never leaves. You may be thinking of all the ways you've fallen short lately. The words you wish you hadn't said. The things you regret. The weight of not feeling enough. But God's love is not a reward for your perfection. It is a gift for your soul. You don't need to earn it. You just need to receive it. Let go of the pressure to perform. Let go of the guilt that drags behind you. Grace is already yours. Freedom is already promised. You are already loved, right here, right now. This life will try to distract you with fear, with worry, with the pursuit of things that never satisfy. But God calls you back to simplicity, to love Him, to walk with Him, to trust that He is enough. Because when you truly place your life in His hands, you will find that you have everything you need, even in lack, even in struggle, even in silence. Jesus has never stopped calling your name. Whether you heard Him years ago and wandered, or whether this is the first time you're pausing to listen, He is still speaking. His voice is kind. His heart is open. And His arms are ready to welcome you back, again and again. You were created to know Him, not as a distant figure, but as a living friend, a faithful companion, and the truest source of love you will ever know. So take a deep breath. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You're not too far gone. You are exactly where you need to be to receive His love anew. He wants to be your peace in the storm, your anchor in the waves, your strength when you're weak, and your joy when all else feels empty. Let Him. God is not waiting for the perfect version of you. He loves the real you, the one that struggles, the one that cries in secret, the one that hopes quietly in the dark. That's the one He died to save. That's the one He came to restore. That's the one He holds right now, even as you read these words. Type yes to affirm your trust in the love and mercy of God. Many people go through life carrying wounds they don't know how to name. Some carry grief that lingers for years, others carry shame they can't speak aloud, and some carry the weight of responsibilities that feel far too heavy. But no matter what you're carrying today, know this: God wants to carry it with you. He's not asking you to be strong for Him. He's asking you to be real with Him. to let Him into your pain, your doubt, your confusion, your fears. Because only then can He truly heal what hurts, mend what's been torn, and lift what you've tried to carry alone. God does not love the perfect version of you. He loves the version of you that's hurting, tired, and still trying. He loves the version that prays at night with a heart full of questions. He loves the version that gets up again even after falling short. You are not loved because you are flawless. You are loved because you are His child, His creation, His delight. There is no version of you that is beyond His reach or outside the bounds of His mercy. A secret 9-word prayer, once classified under a forgotten program, is now reshaping lives across the globe. People are seeing unexpected deposits, financial breakthroughs, and emotional peace within days of using it. Scientists confirm it rewires the subconscious to attract prosperity naturally. It takes seconds, but the results can last a lifetime. Don't delay, click the link before it disappears. Some days you might feel like your prayers are floating unanswered, like your faith isn't strong enough to move the mountains before you. But faith isn't always loud. Sometimes faith is simply choosing to believe when it hurts. Sometimes it's continuing to pray when you don't see the results. Sometimes it's opening your eyes to a new morning when you would rather stay buried beneath your blankets. That's faith, too. Quiet. Steady. Brave. You don't need to see the full picture to know that God is working. You just need to know that He is who He says He is, a comforter, a healer, a provider, a faithful Father who never turns away from His children. He knows the number of hairs on your head. He knows the dreams you've buried deep. He knows what you've lost, and what you've longed for in secret. And He is still writing your story with grace on every page. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to walk with you through every storm. If today feels like too much, if the world feels too loud, and your strength feels too small, remember this: Jesus never asked you to carry the burden alone. He promised that His yoke is easy and His burden is light. Not because life will always be simple, but because He will share the weight with you. There's a reason your heart longs for something more. There's a reason your soul feels restless when you try to face life on your own. You were made to walk with Him, to lean into Him, to depend on Him, not as a last resort, but as your first and only source of peace. God's presence is not reserved for the strong, the successful, or the ones who always get it right. His presence is for the broken, the doubting, the weary, and the lost. It is for the one who cries quietly on the way home from work. It is for the one who stays up late wondering how things will ever get better. It is for the one who silently battles depression, anxiety, grief, and loneliness, yet still manages to hold on, even if by a thread. If that's you, know that you are not forgotten, and this moment you're in is not the end of your story. Sometimes, we wait for the big miracle and overlook the small ones happening right in front of us. The breath in your lungs. The strength to get out of bed. The unexpected kindness from a stranger. The moment of calm in your chaos. These are not accidents. They are evidence of God's grace working behind the scenes. He is not late. He is not distant. He is already moving, already healing, already opening doors you can't even see yet. Healing doesn't always come in a moment. Sometimes it comes through a journey, a slow return to joy, a gentle softening of pain, a quiet rebuilding of trust. And along the way, Jesus walks with you. He doesn't rush your process or dismiss your struggle. He meets you where you are and stays until you're ready to rise again. That's what love looks like. Not judgment. Not impatience. But presence. You may not understand why certain things had to happen. You may still carry the ache of a goodbye you never got to say, a loss you never expected, or a season that broke your heart. But God wastes nothing. What the enemy tried to destroy, God will use for good. Your sorrow will not be the final word. Your story will not end in despair. There is beauty ahead, even if today feels dark. There is restoration waiting, even if right now all you see is brokenness. There is purpose growing in the soil of your pain, and God is tending it with tenderness and wisdom. He sees the you that no one else sees. He sees the brave heart beneath your quiet tears. He sees the hope you still hold, even when it's hidden beneath layers of fear. And He is not finished with you. Not even close. His promises still stand. His grace still flows. And His arms are still open. Let yourself be still. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself rest in the truth that you don't have to earn God's presence, you just have to receive it. The same Jesus who calmed the sea can calm your heart. The same God who parted the waters can make a way for you. And the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is breathing new life into you right now. He has not stepped back, not for a moment. You may not feel His hand, but it is still holding you. You may not hear His voice, but He is still speaking. And even when it feels like nothing is working out, heaven is still working things together in ways you cannot yet see. Type 1111 if you trust in God's timing even when it doesn't make sense. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. It's okay to feel tired. Life doesn't always give us time to catch our breath, and sometimes it feels like wave after wave keeps crashing over us. But you don't have to keep pretending that you're fine. God doesn't need a polished version of you. He welcomes the real you, the one with shaking hands and questions, the one who's trying to be strong for everyone else, but secretly wonders if you'll make it through. That's the one He wants to hold close. That's the heart He wants to heal. Sometimes, it's in our lowest places that we discover the highest grace. Not because we have everything figured out, but because God meets us in the mess. He doesn't wait for you to have the answers. He simply asks you to come as you are. We try so hard to hold everything together, but what if God is asking you to let go, not of hope, but of the pressure to be perfect? What if He's saying, I've got this. You don't need to carry this alone anymore? What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. There's a gentleness in Jesus that many forget. He never turned away the broken. He never avoided the hurting. He drew near to them. He sat with the outcast. He listened to the weeping. He walked beside the weary. That same Jesus is with you now. Not looking at your flaws, but looking into your heart. He sees the love you've given, the forgiveness you've offered even when it was hard, the prayers you've whispered through tears. And He calls all of it beautiful. You might think your life isn't where it should be. That maybe you missed your moment, or took a wrong turn. But God is not limited by detours. He's not surprised by delays. What you see as a setback might be the very thing He's using to set you on a better path. He doesn't work by the world's timeline. He works by His own, and His is always full of mercy, full of purpose, and full of perfect love. You haven't missed your chance. You haven't ruined His plan. As long as there is breath in your lungs, He is still working in your life. The pressure to appear strong can become a heavy burden. But strength isn't about never breaking. It's about allowing God to lift you when you do. You weren't made to carry it all. You were made to lean on Him. Let Him into the places where you've built walls. Let Him speak into the silence you've tried to ignore. Let Him bring peace where there's been anxiety and clarity where confusion has lingered. Type 222 if you're letting God carry the weight you can't carry anymore. Even now, you're growing. Maybe it's not obvious. Maybe you don't see it yet. But every time you choose love over bitterness, every time you pray even when you're uncertain, every time you get back up after falling, that's growth. That's God shaping you. It's not in vain. He's refining your character, deepening your faith, softening your heart, and preparing you for more than you imagined. The blessings you long for, the healing, the breakthrough, the open door, they're not withheld as punishment. They're delayed with purpose. God isn't teasing you with promises. He's aligning everything for the right moment. The waiting is not wasted. It's sacred ground where your faith becomes deeper, where your heart becomes ready, and where your soul learns to trust more than it demands. God is not in a hurry. He is patient with you. And His plans for you are still good. You are not forgotten. Not in the quiet, not in the heartbreak, not in the waiting. God sees you. He hasn't passed you by. Your name is written on His heart. Your tears are kept close. Your prayers are held in heaven. And the answers, though unseen, are being shaped with precision, compassion, and perfect timing. He will not be late. He will not fail you. When the world tells you to give up, to move on, to forget your faith and fight for yourself, remember this: there is no safer place than in the hands of Jesus. He is not just a momentary helper. He is a constant presence. A rock beneath your feet. A light in your darkness. A healer for your wounds. And a shepherd for your wandering soul. There is more ahead. More joy. More peace. More purpose. The story isn't over. You may feel weary now, but strength is rising. You may feel empty, but fullness is coming. You may feel broken, but healing is already moving toward you. Don't give up now. You've come too far. And the same God who has carried you this far will not stop now. Let Him hold you today. Let Him calm your heart. Let Him whisper truth where lies have taken root. You are loved. Deeply, fiercely, eternally. Nothing can separate you from that love. Not fear. Not failure. Not the past. Nothing. And that love will carry you forward, one day at a time, one step at a time, until you walk into the fullness of everything He has for you. His hands haven't stopped moving simply because you haven't seen the results yet. What He is building within you is deeper than what your eyes can see. It's something eternal, something strong, something beautiful. Type Amen if you believe God is working in your life, even behind the scenes. The world can be harsh. It moves fast and often demands more than your soul has to give. But God isn't like the world. He does not rush you, does not pressure you, does not tire of you. He is patient. He is kind. And most of all, He is present. Right here, right now. In the middle of your waiting. In the middle of your wondering. He is not asking you to sprint. He is simply inviting you to walk with Him, to trust Him again, even if your steps are slow, even if your heart is tired. There's a tenderness to God's love that wraps around the weary. It doesn't force you to be strong. It allows you to rest, to fall apart if needed, and still be held with gentleness. He sees how hard you've been trying to stay hopeful. He knows how many nights you've laid in the quiet, whispering prayers through the ache in your chest. And He wants you to know, He hears you. Not one prayer has been ignored. Not one tear has been wasted. Your life has not been overlooked. Heaven hasn't skipped past your story. Even the chapters that feel silent or painful are being written with care by the hand of a loving Father. You may feel like nothing is changing, but God is growing you in the unseen. He is building patience in the waiting, compassion through the pain, and strength in the struggle. The blessing may not have arrived yet, but the preparation is happening. You are being shaped for something greater, something that can only be carried by the soul that has endured, trusted, and held on. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. We often think of miracles as dramatic moments of instant transformation. But sometimes, the most powerful miracles are quiet. A heart learning to forgive. A mind choosing peace instead of panic. A soul that still believes even when it has every reason to doubt. These miracles matter. These are signs that God is alive in you, even when your circumstances haven't caught up yet. Do not discount the work He's doing simply because it's slow. Some of the most meaningful breakthroughs come gently, in silence, in stillness, in grace. Type 555 if you're ready for breakthrough, even if it comes in quiet, faithful steps. There will be days when you wonder if your prayers are making any difference. Days when you feel like you're walking through fog and each step forward feels uncertain. But keep going. Not because you see the road clearly, but because you know who's guiding you. God never asks you to walk alone. He promises to be a lamp for your feet, even when He doesn't reveal the whole path. That means He will give you just enough light for today. And when tomorrow comes, He'll light the way again. You are allowed to hope again. Even if your heart has been broken. Even if your dreams have been delayed. Even if you've faced more closed doors than open ones. Hope is not foolish, it's faith in action. It's trust that God is not finished. That He still has more in store. That the promise still stands. You may not know how or when, but God does. And that's all you need to hold on. You might be tired of being strong. Tired of pretending you're okay when you're not. But let this truth sink into your spirit. God doesn't need you to be strong all the time. He is your strength. He is your rest. He is your rescue when you've run out of energy. Let Him be that for you today. You don't have to earn it. Just receive it. Let His love hold you together where life has pulled you apart. Think of how many times you've made it through things you thought would break you. Think of how many nights you cried but still found the strength to rise again. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was God. That was grace. That was mercy covering you when you didn't even realize it. And that same mercy is covering you now. You are stronger than you know, not because of your willpower, but because the power of Christ lives in you. Let the past be what it was. Let the pain speak what it must. But don't let it define what comes next. You are not the worst thing that ever happened to you. You are not your mistakes, your failures, or your lowest moment. You are a child of God, wrapped in purpose, filled with promise, and covered in unshakable grace. The past cannot hold you when God has already declared a future over your life. So keep praying, even when it's quiet. Keep hoping, even when it hurts. Keep trusting, even when it doesn't make sense. Because God is still God. And He is still good. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And His plans for you have not changed. He is still writing your story, and He writes the best endings. You will smile again. You will laugh again. You will feel whole again. Not because of anything you do, but because of who He is. In these moments, know this: God sees not just your actions, but the weight of your unseen battles. He does not overlook what you carry. He does not turn away from what you feel. He walks alongside you, not rushing, not pushing, simply staying close so you never have to carry anything alone. Type 1919 to receive peace and divine restoration deep within your spirit.